the sun disappears. The night never ends, and death comes without a sound. It might sound like a scene from an apocalyptic movie. But what if it were real? What if, all of a sudden, the sun vanished from the sky, and in its place appeared something no bigger than a city, yet powerful enough to fry Earth with radiation, freeze the oceans, and turn our planet into a lifeless rock? This isn't just a wild idea, it's a possible scenario, based on one of the most extreme and mysterious objects in the universe. The Pulsar, a body that spins faster than a cosmic blender, shooting out invisible beams of deadly energy. In this video, you'll discover what would happen to Earth, to life, and to you if a pulsar took the sun's place. And believe me, the end of the world has never sounded so quiet. Imagine waking up and realizing the sun has simply disappeared. No sunlight coming through the window. In less than 8 minutes, the whole world would be plunged into complete darkness. But the most curious part is what replaces it. A pulsar. Sounds like a superhero name, but it's way scarier. A pulsar is what's left after a giant star dies. It's tiny, the size of a city, but has the same mass as the sun. That means it's insanely dense, strong enough to crush anything nearby with its gravity. And the worst part, spins fast, really fast, hundreds of times per second, shooting out deadly beams of radiation in every direction. It's like a cosmic lighthouse, but one that kills. So what does that mean for life on Earth? Everything changes. Without sunlight, the human body starts feeling the effects almost immediately. Our internal clock gets confused, temperatures drop, plants stop doing photosynthesis, and life begins to fall apart. But it's not just the cold or the dark that's dangerous. The radiation from the pulsar is invisible, but extremely powerful. Could burn your skin, make people sick, and even knock out our electronics. Here's a fun fact. Even though pulsars are so small, they have enough energy to affect entire areas of space. It's one of those fascinating space mysteries that sounds like science fiction, but it's real. Still, Earth would keep spinning around it. That's because the pulsar has the same mass as the sun. But think about it. What's the point of orbiting something that's slowly killing everything? It's like being stuck on a Ferris wheel that never stops. But there's no light, no warmth, and a deadly energy beam aimed right at you. Ancient civilizations collapsed because of droughts or weather shifts. Now imagine that. But on a planetary scale, a world freezing, dark, alone, and with no way back. And the scariest part, the real danger hasn't even started yet. Now imagine a night that never ends. No exaggeration. With a pulsar in the sun's place, there's no more sunrise. No more sunset, no blue sky, and no moon lighting up the night. Just darkness. And not the usual kind. It's the type of darkness that hides invisible danger. A pulsar doesn't shine like the sun. Instead, it shoots out bursts of radiation, X-rays and gamma rays, that our eyes can't see. It's like the sky turns into a field of invisible landmines. A curious fact is that even in the middle of this darkness, the pulsar stays active, firing those deadly beams with scary precision, like a lighthouse in space. But this lighthouse doesn't warn you about danger. It is the danger. Sounds like something from a movie, but it's not fiction. It's one of those space mysteries that remind us how fragile we really are. Have you ever thought about how much we depend on light? Just knowing when to wake up or sleep, seeing colors, even growing food. All of that relies on visible light. Without it, we enter a world we don't really understand. And the worst part, even though we can't see it, we're surrounded by radiation that can go through walls, clothes, and even the human body. It's the kind of threat that gives no warning, no sound, just hits. Here's an interesting fact. Some pulsars are so precise in their pulses that scientists use them as space clocks. They emit radiation so regularly that we can measure time with them. But on Earth, that would feel more like a cold, deadly heartbeat, ticking non-stop, and there's no way to turn it off. And in the middle of all that, the sky would no longer be beautiful. It would be a void. No moon, no visible planets, no shining stars. Just black. A black that hides something you can't see, can't feel, and can't predict. Ever thought about living in a world where looking up brings fear, not peace? In many ancient cultures, solar eclipses were seen as signs of the end of the world. A historical fact that shows how deeply we're connected to the sky. Now imagine that eclipse lasting forever. That would change how we see the universe and ourselves. But things are about to get even worse. Before Earth freezes, it's going to burn. Have you ever felt the heat of the sun on a summer day, when everything feels like it's melting? Now imagine that heat being replaced by something much worse. Radiation so strong it burns skin, fries electronics, and makes people sick. And all of that happens before the planet even starts to freeze. It's curious to realize that even without the sun, the first threat wouldn't be cold, but heat. The pulsar, hiding in the dark, sends out powerful radiation beams that can scorch anything in their path. And since these beams are narrow and focused, it's like Earth is being hit by a cosmic laser, again and again, with no warning. Here's a fascinating fact. Many satellites around Earth already have protection against radiation, but if a pulsar was nearby, no shield would be enough. After that initial frying, Earth begins to cool down fast. Without the sun's warmth, temperatures drop to terrifying levels. In just a few days, tropical regions would become frozen deserts. The poles, already cold, would turn into even harder blocks of ice, and oceans would start freezing from the top down. It's the kind of change no one could prepare for. One day we have power, communication, working systems. The next, everything starts to shut down. Solar panels stop working, satellites fail, and plants die without light. And here's a curious detail people often forget. Plants don't just die from the cold, they need light to breathe. Without it, photosynthesis stops completely. And when that happens, life's whole support system collapses. So what happens to human life in all this? The honest answer: not much survives. Even if some people manage to hide in underground shelters with generators and artificial farms, it would only delay the inevitable. With no food chains, no stable climate, and no protected atmosphere, long-term survival becomes nearly impossible. Historical facts show that Earth has gone through ice ages before, but always with at least some light and warmth from the sun. Now we're talking about a forever winter, with no way out, no heating, and radiation lurking in the shadows. And the scariest part: this isn't even the worst that a pulsar can do. Imagine living with something deadly pointed at you, but you can't see it, hear it, or feel it coming. That's exactly how radiation from a pulsar works. Unlike the sun's warmth, which you feel slowly on your skin, a pulsar's beams are like blades of energy silently slicing through space. If Earth crosses one of those beams, it would be hit by intense radiation pulses, like a giant strobe light firing deadly flashes at regular intervals. It may sound extreme, but here's a fascinating fact. Some pulsars fire up to 700 times per second. That's faster than the blink of an eye. And each pulse carries enough energy to cause serious damage. Curious, isn't it? Something so small, so far away, and still so dangerous. And here's what makes it even scarier. Radiation has no smell, no color, no sound. You could be getting hit with massive amounts of it and not feel a thing. And by the time symptoms show up, nausea, fatigue, burns, failures in electronic systems, it's already too late. That's not magic. That's science. Our main defense, Earth's magnetosphere, would struggle to hold up under that kind of pressure. Here's an important curiosity. The magnetosphere already protects us from the solar wind, the constant stream of particles from the sun. But a pulsar's beams are thousands of times stronger. If the magnetosphere collapses, there's nothing left between us and deep space. And then, the radiation comes in at full force, with no breaks. Now think about the impact on everyday life. Satellites going dark, GPS shut down, planes losing navigation, power grids crashing. And all of it happening without warning, without a single flash in the sky. A real technological blackout. Historical facts show that even smaller solar events, like geomagnetic storms, have caused major damage, like the 1989 blackout in Quebec. Now imagine something far worse, coming from a pulsar. No one would know exactly when the next pulse would hit, and the constant fear of another blast would become part of daily life. Only this time, there might not be a next day to recover. And as Earth remains frozen and dark, it begins to lose its last line of defense, heading straight for the endgame. It's curious to think that even with the sun gone, the planets would keep orbiting around it, or better said, around what's left of it. The pulsar, despite being small and strange, still has the same mass as the sun. That means its gravity would keep the planets in their orbits, as if nothing had happened. Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, all would follow their paths as usual. But Earth would be a cruel exception, because even though it's in the right place, it would become a dead planet. A dark, frozen globe with no functioning atmosphere. Its surface burnt by radiation and no sign of life anywhere. It's like being locked in a house with a heater skeleton turned on. Only this one emits poison instead of heat. This shows something very deep. Stability in the universe doesn't mean safety. The solar system might look intact from afar, orbits working, planets spinning, but that doesn't mean everything is okay. Here on Earth it would be the end of the line. The oceans frozen solid, forests turned into ice sculptures, cities reduced to snow-covered silhouettes. Even the air would be different. Thinner, drier, colder. No seasons. No natural cycles. Just silence. A silence carrying an invisible kind of mourning. Historical facts show that even the worst natural disasters in our history were temporary. Hurricanes, earthquakes, eruptions. They all came and went. But here, what changes isn't a passing event. It's the very environment for life. And what about survivors? Well, that's where hope or self-deception lives. Maybe small groups would try to hold on in underground bunkers, with high-tech gear, stored food, and artificial energy. But how long could that last? Without a functioning ecosystem outside, these bubbles of life would only be delaying the inevitable. Eventually, power runs out, food spoils, sanity fades, and even if someone lasted, the planet we knew would have ceased to exist. No day, no night, no seasons, no sky. Just darkness and silence. Curious how everything might look stable on the outside. A solar system still in motion, while inside Earth nothing remains. And so, we end our journey through what would happen if the sun were replaced by a pulsar. But are we really that far from this kind of risk? The truth is, the universe doesn't care about our comfort. Today we have the sun, light, warmth, life. But all of it depends on a fragile balance, one that could change in the blink of an eye. A pulsar replacing the sun might seem far off, but it's a reminder that we live at the mercy of forces we can't even see. And that makes you wonder, what other cosmic threats are out there still unknown? How many mysteries are hiding in the darkness of space, just waiting to change everything we think of as normal? Now I want to hear from you. What part of this scenario intrigued you the most? The invisible radiation, the eternal cold, or the idea that everything could end without warning? Drop your thoughts in the comments. This conversation isn't over. If you love curiosities, historical facts, and space mysteries like this one, make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications, so you won't miss what's coming next. Because what's ahead is even more surprising.